Yo, what up, what's going on, guys? Today the ring mount actually broke for my Rode mic, so we're just gonna be holding it today like a traditional microphone, but yeah, I'll definitely have to replace that at some point. But anyway, the purpose of this video today is to show you guys a BTS of the very first shoot with the Mamiya RB67. Now, I did this shoot probably a month after purchasing the Mamiya RB67, and this was actually back in the spring of earlier this year, and today, now it's August, so it's been a while since, I've had the RB and since this was last done, but definitely want to continue getting the content out there for a lot of things that have already filmed. I actually just got back from London a day or two ago. I can't even keep track of time. I'm a bit jet lagged. But anyway, let's get into this and show you guys a little bit of my experience and how my first shoot went. So my very first shoot with the Mamiya RB67, I had the camera for a month. I did some research and kind of looking around a bit on how to operate the camera. I was familiar with the camera, but I hadn't brushed up on my skills as far as how to operate it, loading the film, firing it, removing the dark slide, etc., metering the light, you name it. So we get on location with the camera. Mind you, this was actually one of my friends that had come in town, and we were doing a shoot up in North Seattle in the Ravenna area when the cherry blossoms are out this time of year. Perfect time to go out and take photos. It was probably early in the afternoon when we went and shot these photos, but it took me forever to load the film. I didn't want to put my first roll of film through it and have it be Portra 400. I just didn't want to waste a roll on this specific shoot because this was my first time shooting with the camera, and I wasn't confident enough yet to just be able to operate it in a way to produce great results. We actually ended up finishing this roll of film over the course of 2 days, and I actually didn't get all 10 exposures with the film either, so go figure. Had some difficulty loading the film. It took so long for me to do. I'm over here watching YouTube videos on location trying to figure out how to load the film up. I actually loaded it the wrong way and didn't have like the black paper out and almost exposed some of the film. Ended up getting the film loaded. I didn't even set my light meter on my phone. I was just using an app to meter the light. I didn't set the ISO to the right speed. Ended up overexposing the film quite a bit, but they were able to do some work at the lab that I dropped it off at, and saved me a bit there. So there were several times I was trying to figure out how to fire the camera. Oops, I didn't even take the dark slide out. So if you have a Mamiya RB67 or you're looking at these cameras, do not forget to take the dark slide out before you fire this film, and don't forget to put the dark slide back in when you take the film back off. And you're winding your film to get it unloaded for you to drop off at a lab or develop yourself. Overall, though, I think I did get some pretty decent photos given the fact that I did overexpose this roll of Portra. I wanted to actually put a roll of expired T-Max through it, but that didn't happen. Kind of just went with it and ended up loading the Portra up to go out and shoot. One thing to keep in mind when you're working these film cameras and you're doing like these portraits or like fashion shoots, whatever, make sure that you're working with people, or make sure that you're conveying to the people that you're working with that, hey, this is going to be a bit of a slower process as opposed to shooting digital or shooting other cameras that can like wind pretty quick or have meters inside of them to measure the light. It's a whole process. It's really a whole process. And you have to be working with somebody that's patient enough, that's not going to throw you off your game, or you're just not going to be worried about them having to wait or hold a pose while you dial in the focus, get all your settings right and everything, and get ready to fire the shot. Also, make sure you give them a count too. Sometimes 3, 2, 1 or 3, 2, fire on 2, so you can get like a more natural reaction, or just change it up a bit from when you're out shooting. I've done this quite a bit, so. But at this point, August now, going back to the spring, I'm a lot faster at loading these medium format film cameras now. Loading the film, unloading it, firing it, kind of like just troubleshooting it, because I have had occasions where the shutter wouldn't fire on me for whatever reason, and there's just been something up with the camera. I have like these little ways to troubleshoot these cameras on location, and given the fact that these cameras are super old, it comes with the territory. But like I said, we did this roll of Portra over like 2 days. Once I dropped it off at the film lab, got the negatives back and got the WeTransfer back to see the photos that had been scanned in, I realized that I didn't even expose all 10 possible shots I could do on this roll of 120 film. That I was a little bit surprised by, because I do remember the shutter firing on some of those blank shots or blank spaces on the roll of film and the places I was at, and remembering the shutter going off, and I'm just not quite sure what happened. This was actually the only time this had happened to me when I was out shooting. After that point, it didn't happen. So we shot up north in the Seattle area in Ravenna. Then after that, we ended up coming back to my apartment, was able to get some shots inside of my apartment as well. There's some beautiful light that comes in here in the evening time, and it's just like great. It's like, you know, just give you that studio feel. You can get the natural light studio feel of your place if you got some good light coming in, and just the way that you set them up. So the shots in here went pretty well at this point. I'd gotten a little bit more familiar with the camera, and was able to fire off some shots. Then went out later in the evening in Seattle, thought I exposed some shots, but I didn't. I remember the shutter firing, just going through all the motions, and nothing happened. And then the next day, going to Gasworks Park and try to get a shot of the city, didn't happen. Lesson learned, but I've never had any of these types of issues going forward just with the medium format cameras, more specifically the Mamiya RB67. And just a little announcement, I'm going to have another video showing another camera that I picked up as well. That's another medium format film camera, and I'm super excited to share that because I've been doing a lot of work, some of which in London, some of which in Salt Lake, and then just kind of like this whole summer in Seattle. So but basically, you know, just wanted to show you guys a little bit of this BTS, talk about my experience a bit and my hardships of going out to shoot with this camera for the first time. But all in all, it was great experience. And yeah, so don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here. If you're a returning subscriber, hit the bell. I don't want you to miss anything. It's going to be a lot of videos coming and on the way. I have a ton of videos, that need some editing, and I finally got some good amount of time to make sure everything is focused up. So appreciate you guys for watching the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Holla.